The shooter who murdered Charlie Kirk is still at large, and a manhunt continues to be underway. But today, the FBI did release 2 photos of who they believe is a person of interest. Those are the images that you're looking at right now. Obviously, the shooter or at least the person they believe is a person of interest, is male. And the former FBI assistant director, Chris Swecker, said something kind of interesting on CNN today in regard to the images that were released. I want to share that perspective with you just so you have a more comprehensive, perspective on what people are saying, who the suspect may be. Take a look.
There's one thing that I think is very inconsistent, and it bothers me, and that is that photo that you're looking at right now. That's the photo of this guy blending in. The description that the FBI put out, the description you just heard on that radio, was a description of someone who was in tactical gear, fully kitted out, it sounded like. Now, granted, he could have hit all that stuff, but that hasn't been found. So I'm not sure that, there's an inconsistency there that could actually come back later at a trial to be what I would call exculpatory material.
To be quite frank, so far, this investigation, the attempt to find the suspect at large, I don't know, Cenk, it really bothers me that this person was able to carry out this assassination in an event with thousands of people in broad daylight. A single shot to the neck killed Charlie Kirk. And this person so far has been able to get away with it. And so I've got a lot more details, including the weapon that authorities have found that they allege belongs to the shooter. But before I give you all those details, I just want to get your initial thoughts.
Yeah, so this is super strange. So normally what amateurs do is they go in at close distance and they fire a whole bunch of shots, right? Because they don't want to miss, and they're usually mentally unbalanced. They very rarely go on a rooftop, plan it out meticulously, take only one shot, be absolutely sure that it was a kill shot, and then get down, get away, maybe switch out of fatigues. We don't find the fatigues. Then later, we hilariously are told that, oh, look at this, we found a rifle in the middle of the woods. It says transgender ideology. Does it? Does it? Well, we're gonna get to some of those answers in a little bit as well. So, no, none of this looks like an amateur. And so there's debate about is it easy to hit someone from 200 yards? Do you aim for the neck? Do you not aim for the neck, etc.? But I think that that's an important and interesting conversation, but that's only part of the conversation. The other parts are all these things. He's in fatigues, no, he's not, right? We got him, no, we didn't. But the bottom line, Anna, as we sort all this out, and we're gonna give you all the details here, is, are they going to catch him or not? Because if they catch him and we find out who it is and it's a rational explanation, no problem, great, that's awesome. Bring him to justice and we find out what happened. If they don't catch him, you're telling me one shot, he makes a clean getaway, and he wasn't a professional, he was a random psycho? No, I won't believe that. And so they better find him.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And justice, of course, is the most important thing here. But also really fully understanding the motive is incredibly important. I mean, obviously we've had issues in this country with political divisions, and it's inspiring people to say some pretty scary things in the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's killing. And so I'm worried about where we are as a nation. But let me give you some more details about where the investigation currently is. So state and federal officials claim that they have tracked the shooter's movements and recovered what they believe is his firearm, which he allegedly used to shoot Kirk from a nearby roof at Utah Valley University. So this was during the event at Utah Valley University. The Utah Department of Public Safety Commissioner Bo Mason says that the shooter arrived on campus at 11:52 a.m. local time, appear to be of college age, and the images that were just released by the FBI do seem to indicate that the individual was of college age, and that the individual also blended well on campus, blended in well. Now, the gunman went through stairwells and climbed up to a roof to the location in which the shooting was carried out. There are videos of a person on the roof. I'm sure many of you have seen those videos. There's video of the person on the roof then running away after the shooting took place. Now, Mason said that after the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood. Our investigators have worked through those neighborhoods, contacting anybody they can with doorbell cameras, and have thoroughly worked through those communities trying to identify any leads. So this is insane. I mean, when you really consider the fact that this took place at a public event where a ton of people are attending, when you take into consideration the fact that there are cameras literally everywhere in every community, every neighborhood, every public place, the fact that we don't have a suspect apprehended yet is beyond concerning. Now, according to FBI investigators also collected and will analyze a footwear impression and also a palm print and forearm imprints. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the weapon, Cenk. So authorities found a high-powered bolt-action rifle they believe was the weapon used to shoot Kirk from afar. Authorities say that, and this was reported by the Wall Street Journal, authorities say that phrases related to cultural issues were found engraved on the rifle and ammunition. Now, we should proceed with caution because I was just reading a report indicating that authorities thought that some arrows that were engraved on the weapon or on the bullets indicated some sort of transgender ideology, and later they realized that wasn't the case. But here's what the Wall Street Journal reported as of this morning. The older model .30 caliber hunting rifle was discovered in the woods, wrapped in a towel with a spent cartridge still in the chamber. There were also 3 unspent rounds in the magazine, all with wording on them. But again, investigators found the ammunition engraved with expressions of transgender and anti-fascist ideology inside the rifle. But again, the note of caution I'm referring to was mentioned in the New York Times. A senior law enforcement official with direct knowledge of the investigation cautioned that the report had not been verified by ATF analysis, did not match other summaries of the evidence, and might turn out to have been misread or misinterpreted. So again, things are still very much up in the air. Considering Charlie Kirk's political ideology, it is not far-fetched that this was a politically motivated assassination. I want to be clear about that. I'm not just trying to pour cold water on it, but I am saying this investigation so far has been abysmal, absolutely abysmal. And it's because of the endless contradicting information that's coming out. You know, they have a suspect apprehended. Now they don't have a suspect apprehended. It's a person of interest. Now this person isn't a person of interest. You know, the very first thing that happened immediately after the shooting was a video started circulating online of an older man being apprehended by officials, by law enforcement. That person was not a suspect. So look, I'm worried. I'm really, really worried. And the longer this takes, the more violent rhetoric I'm seeing online. And what's more concerning is when you don't have a suspect and you're unable to find a clear motive, that also, of course, furthers some conspiratorial thoughts. And I'm also seeing that online. Cenk.
Yeah. No, look, I'm super suspicious. And I look, to me, the most important part of all of this, other than obviously the tragic death of Charlie Kirk, is I don't trust our government at all anymore.
I know.
So okay, and this has not helped 1%. It's been terrible because, okay, to your point, Anna. Okay, so we caught the guy, we didn't catch the guy. Kash Patel, put that out. You can't put that out in a tweet that you caught him. Like we read it on air because that's the director of the FBI saying we caught the guy. And then a couple hours later, it's like, sorry, we didn't catch him at all. All right, so that's all right. That's weird. He's in fatigues. No, he's not. That's also weird. We couldn't find any trace of him except conveniently this rifle with the bullets and the casings, and it says transgender and Antifa. I mean, it sounds like an 80-year-old who's like, what are the kids saying online? What should we say about the left? Oh, I am a believer in transgender ideology. And I am Antifa, that's really? Okay, Antifa, that's a little old. Okay, so conveniently, that's the only thing you found. And then the New York Times says, oh, by the way, that might not be true at all. What's going on here? So, like, again, if they catch the guy alive and we find out who did it, then it restores a little bit of faith in the government. So do I know that they're gonna catch him? No, I don't know. Obviously, I'm very, very much rooting that they do. If they don't catch him, guys, then I lose all faith in the government. What the F is going on here? So, I mean, Kash Patel, yeah, sure, he's a clown, right? And that's why you shouldn't put clowns as the head of the FBI. He also weirdly took off the lead FBI person in Salt Lake City just a little while back. Why did he get rid of her? That's super weird, okay? And then now, they said college age, by the way. Yeah, he could be college aged, or he could be 30. And it's like, they put you in a certain mindset when they give a description. For example, they could have said, oh, the one thing we know for sure is he's white male. So that gets you in the mindset of white male. Now, I don't care what mindset you're in, right? So the fact that he's a white male probably has almost nothing to do with it, right? But why did you say college age? Like and we see the pictures anyway. Like that's the best description you have on a college campus filled with tens of thousands of students. I don't know. All of this is super weird.
And to your point, Cenk, I hadn't really thought about that description, the college age description, but now that you bring that up, there were people there who probably saw things and might provide leads or tips to authorities. And so when you come out with a description that's so specific like that, if someone saw something a little strange, they might think, oh, well, this person wasn't college aged, or oh, this person actually wasn't, a young white male. So maybe this wasn't anything suspicious. Like, I just feel like so far from what I have seen from this investigation, there's just foible after foible. I feel like they're bungling it. And it makes me angry. Like, it really makes me angry for a number of different reasons. Someone getting killed in broad daylight like that, a political figure getting killed in broad daylight like that, that is freaking terrifying. And this person absolutely needs to be brought to justice. And the fact that this investigation seems like one fumble after another, this country was already having issues with the American public having little to no faith in our institutions. And honestly, this investigation has not inspired much confidence. And look, Cenk, I'm gonna just keep it real, okay? For anyone out there who is cruel enough and quite frankly, stupid enough to celebrate a political assassination because you had political disagreements with Charlie Kirk. Well, think about what kind of culture and what kind of environment you are rooting for in this country, because some of your favorite political commentators and pundits could be next.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I'm also seeing a ton of people on the right who are saying all sorts of scary things about how we're at war now. We're at war with the left, essentially egging on a culture of violence when in reality, we should be condemning violence, absolutely condemning violence. We should be allowed to have political debates and political disagreements in a democracy without fear of suffering from any type of harm, physical harm, murder, anything. And so we're in a scary place, Cenk. That's the reality of the situation.
Yeah, so I have thoughts on that too. But first, one more thing about the details of this killing. If this person knew their getaway, got there at 8 minutes before the shooting, if I've got that part of the story right, so got in, got out, that means they very likely staked the place out earlier. So look, if you're a cop and you're an investigator of this stuff, that's I'm sure elementary to you. And then you're gonna look at the video from the day before that, et cetera, until you figure out when he staked it out, right? Because you gotta see him on the roof at some point. I mean, it would be shocking if he didn't stake it out. How the hell would he know what his getaway plan is, et cetera, where he's gonna shoot him from, which roof to shoot from, what's the best angle, et cetera. He must have staked it out. So I don't blame them for not talking about it now because they might be doing an investigation, et cetera. But it just feels like there's a lot of things to look at, whether it's they're right, not just the smartphones, but all the Ring doorbells. Oh my God, they're gonna have so much video, right? Now, anytime anybody does anything, they're always on camera, right? And on top of that, you had to have him doing the stakeout earlier, so you have potentially video from that moment that helps you put together the pieces of the puzzle. So that's among the reasons why I say if they don't ever figure it out, and golly gee, he just got away, but trust us, he was some rando amateur who probably hated Charlie for his culture war issues or whatever. No, I don't believe you at all. At all, you'll never get me to believe that. And it's not a left-right thing, guys. So to Anna's point about some of the very small, I haven't seen any prominent people doing it, but some small folks, just people with relatively small followings, I mean, going out there and saying stupid things, right? Oh, celebrating, and it's stomach churning. If you're on the left, you're supposed to be for decency and humanity and morality and for the sanctity of our life, our rights, etc. I mean, it's not even close. The left I grew up in has compassion and empathy and doesn't go around making fun of people who got killed. That's insanity, right? So, and then on the right, you guys keep, it was the left wing's rhetoric, and we'll talk more about this a little bit later in the show, but it's left wing rhetoric, so that's why we have to go get the left. But wait, you're doing the rhetoric that you're blaming others for. So like everybody cool it, bring it down. Let's find the guy who did it. Let's bring him to justice. And if we don't, not only does that make it way more likely that he's a professional and not an amateur, right? But number two, for two reasons, somebody assassinated a media figure in this country and did it in a super professional way. And in that fact pattern, we didn't catch him. That's very concerning. Number two, he's still out there. Even if he's a rando, he's still out there. So we can't not catch him. It would be the most unacceptable thing that happened. And if anybody's playing stupid games, this isn't the 1960s. You're not gonna be able to go, oh yeah, there was a magic bullet. Yeah, a bunch of senators looked into it. It's not even 9/11. Oh yeah, a bunch of senators looked into it. They found all these passports and right on the rubble, and that didn't melt, but everything else, whatever. You're not gonna get away with any of that stuff. People are gonna, if the cops don't do it, we're gonna swarm and try to get all the videos, etc. Because it is not acceptable not to catch this guy. And so, last thing on that, Anna, if we don't catch him, we're all in danger. And we're all in danger for a number of reasons. Not just because of the ensuing, cycle of violence, not just because he's still out there, but it also means because our government either can't or won't protect us. And that's really scary.
I agree.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.